Okay, so we're talking about writing percentages as fractions. Now remember, very important, is that percent means that it's out of 100. So whenever we talk about a percent, you know it's got to be out of 100. So to write a percentage as a fraction, we write it over 100. What am I talking about? So if we've got 46%, you're actually going to write that as a fraction over 100. We go 46 over 100. And remember, we never leave a fraction if it can be simplified. So we could divide those both by 2 and cancel. And 2 goes in there 23 times, 2 goes in there 50 times. So our final answer is 23 out of 50. And we've just changed our percentage to a fraction. Okay, next one. 180%. Do exactly the same thing. 180 over 100. Okay, and then bring it as small as you can. So you can say, well, what goes into 180 and 100? And if you're really smart, you can see that 20 does. So that goes in 9 times, and that goes in 5 times. So now you're left with 9 over 5, which is improper, which you can't. Leave it like that. So we make it, how many times does 5 go into 9? And it goes in once with a remainder of 4 over 5. So that is our final answer. Now, if you get a fractional, a decimal that's you need to change, you remember we'll do the first thing of putting it over 100, but you can't have a decimal in a fraction. So we get rid of it. In this case, we're just going to times both of our numbers by 2. So we're timesing 7.5 by 2, and we get 15, and we times the 100 by 2, so we get 200. So what we've effectively done is we've got rid of that decimal. Now, cancel it. So what goes into 15 and 200? 5 goes in there 3, 5 goes in there 40 times. So we're left with 3 over 40, and that's our final answer. All right, so now let's have a look and see, how do we write a fraction as a percentage? Now, to write a fraction as a percentage, we can find the equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. So what we're really wanting to do is to get our denominator, that 20, to 100. So we say, well, what do we do to 20 to get it to 100? What do you have to times it by? By 5. So if we times our 20 by 5, which will give us 100, we've got to times our 17 by 5, which will give us 85. And now if it's 85 over 100, we know straight away that's 85%. Another one, 7 times over 25. Well, what do we do for 25 to get from 25 to get it to 100? We times it by 4, which means we have to times our top by 4. And that gives us 28 over 100, which will give us indeed 28%. Okay, I want you to try and go do it now for me.